What's going on, guys? Alex here from the Green Up Academy podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us in this exciting two different episodes with my friend Jacob Rasmussen of Charlotte, North Carolina. Jacob, in this episode, is going to be talking about his invention, the MagTarp. He is the inventor of, yes, the MagTarp that is sold at ballard-inc.com. Use GreenUp10 to save 10% every time. There's the plug. But Jacob is a really cool guy, and it's a fun story about how he came up with the MagTarp and talking you through the business side, the invention side, how he came up with it, and all the things in between that. So you guys make sure you listen in and listen out. Jacob, it's a normal guy, invented one of the best products we've seen in the landscape industry in the last couple of years. Thanks, guys.
Welcome to the Green Up Academy podcast with Alex Kirby, where we focus on helping you level up your green industry business. Whether it's marketing, finance, employees, or strategy, we talk about everything on this show to help you apply it to your business and change your family and company's future for decades to come. Here's your host, Alex Kirby.
So, yeah, Jacob, so tell me, so how did the idea for MagTarp come? Like, tell me the day that you realized it. I'd love to hear, you're co-founder, co-inventor of MagTarp. What was the day like when you were like, hey, I need this and here's the idea? Tell me that.
It was a cold, leafy fall day on one of our properties. We take care of a lot of lakefront properties on Lake Norman here up near Charlotte. And we came to the property and it was completely covered in leaves. You couldn't see any grass. I mean, it was a mess. And typically we'll take our tarps on a trailer. And back then I didn't have a real efficient way to clean up leaves like I do now. So anyways, I keep a few different size tarps on a trailer. We go to the property, make piles, drag them onto the trailer, and take them off because that's, people don't want them blown in the woods or anything or mulched up. So we try to clean up everything. And that day I forgot to bring the biggest tarp. I used to keep like 3 sizes for any kind of job. And so we had the smallest tarp on our trailer. And it was a nightmare. It was a mess. It took 3-4 hours to clean up one property. And it was just pretty much that simple. The thought was like, there's gotta be a better way. And the thought continued to, man, I wish I could have one tarp where we could make multiple sizes out of it. That way I don't have to remember about making sure I have all the equipment I need or 3 different products to do one type of job. So that's really the basics of the idea. It was like, how can we create a tarp that can fold and secure into other sizes? That way we only need one unit. I'm sure, as being in lawn care and landscaping, you buy a lot of tarps every year and they
disappear, they break. Oh, yeah. It's so frustrating.
They get crumbled up and thrown in the corner after a long, hard day at work. So I wanted, we thought to create something of quality, something that was more efficient and functional for the job site. It was really basic like that.
So what was the original design that you prototyped yourself? Because the MagTarp, why the MagTarp's so unique and cool is that it has magnets that as you turn it and fold it, it magnetizes to itself. And so kind of talk through your prototype or the first thing you tried or whatever.
Yeah. So it started with a piece of paper and a pencil, trying to figure out what the sequence was going to be, where the magnets were going to be laid out on the tarp. Because as you probably know, magnets have, a positive and negative side to them. So in order to do your folding properly, you want to make sure the placement of the magnets are correct to get the folds you want, but also so that when you're flipping things over, that they actually connect and don't separate if it's a positive to positive, negative to negative connection. So it started with a piece of paper and a lot of drawing. And then after that, we finally came up with like an idea we thought would work. And the prototype was handmade. I took an old tarp, I cut it, to a scaled version. It was like 2 feet by 3 feet. I ordered magnets online, or I went to I can't remember. I might have bought them from the store. I got some glue, all those basics. And I remember I was on vacation with my family, and I brought all these components with me, set everything up on the dining room table, and I just started cutting and gluing things together. I bought some sheets of plastic to cut the corners. They were like little plastic corners because we wanted to create corners that had kick steps on them, and that like those corners really needed to hold the magnets securely without, falling out essentially. So I had to put the 2 pieces of plastic together. I had to put like an adhesive around the outside. I colored everything with Sharpie, made it look really professional. I glued the zippers on. And that was, at that point, I was already planning on going to meet up with our potential investor. So it was like a little bit of an art project just to make it as realistic as possible so that when I presented it to him in person, he would take it seriously more than just a concept, but actually had the design in hand. He could play with it and kind of fold it and zip it up. And it worked perfectly. I actually still have that prototype. I keep that thing in my truck just as a reminder.
I was gonna ask if you kind of keep it as a nice memento of like.
Absolutely, man. That thing is a relic, dude. It's awesome. It's perfect for what we needed to get the deal done and turn the concept into reality.
So you came up with the idea you're the kind of inventor of the idea, and then are you allowed to say the person you partnered with to make it come to life? I think you are.
His name was Adam. He actually used to work with me, so it was kind of cool. We were really excited about it in the moment. We spoke about the idea. We sat down, we talked more. We were really, throughout the process, we kind of conceptualized it together to make it work. And, so he used to work with me on the job site. That's kind of how he got involved, because he was there that day that the idea came to life. But
then how did you get it to market? You partner with somebody to get it to market?
Yeah, I met with the investor. It's been like 2 or 3 years now. And, before I went there, actually, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I have this idea for a product. Do you have people that reach out about those kinds of things? And he said, we do all the time. Why don't you send me your idea and maybe we can talk about it. And I was kind of like in the moment where, it's just put all the cards on the table. So my response to that was, instead of sending you my idea, I'm just going to bring it to you. So I bought a plane ticket and flew to meet him. He wasn't really, I don't think he was really excited about that at first because he didn't know what he was getting into. But I don't know. I just had this confidence at the time that, it was just all or nothing. Let's just take a chance, a leap of faith, and see where it goes. I love that. And it worked out really well.
So did he know you were coming, or did you kind of just show up?
Before I reached out to him, I already planned on traveling there. I pretty much told him, I bought a plane ticket. I'll see you in 2 weeks. That's kind of how it went.
He was like, okay.
I don't know what he was thinking. He probably was thinking, oh, dude, this guy's crazy, but when I wanted him to see me, I wanted to talk to him in person. I'm the type of guy that, wants to be face to face with somebody. I feel like I have a lot better ground to stand on versus, connecting back and forth on email, or phone call, texting. It's something about being in the room, talking in person, mannerisms. I just feel more confident in that type of scenario. So, I packed up my my suit or whatever I wore, nice outfit, try to impress him. And I went out to meet him.
And so, okay, so that obviously went well, and you got it made. Let's move on from all the sales stuff and all that. I know it's doing well. It's doing well. Let's just say that. But one of the things I wanted to hear from you is, do you ever, I know you're kind of a low key owner, inventor of it, but how cool is it when you have you seen someone in the wild using it? Cause you own a landscaping company called Cornerstone. So have you seen anyone in the Charlotte area using one? Have you gotten a DM or an email being like, man, this has changed my business? Talk about some of the cool, maybe testimonials or things that have happened since you've made it. Cause I think that's the coolest part of making a product, right? Is that you can see it impact other people's lives. So
yeah.
You got anything?
So I have never seen somebody using it in person, except for our crew, of course. Yeah. But like you said, I'm more of a low key guy when it comes to these things. I like being in the background. I like blending in. So I actually, we're using the MagTarp for my landscaping business, and the guys using it didn't even know that I invented it for a while, and it's kind of cool. It's like a little secret, but
I'm literally looking it up on my phone right now.
Yeah. So I guess the first time it was a wow moment for me was seeing it live on the marketplace, seeing the website page. We put a lot of effort into, the description and everything, and seeing words that I put into sentences on the internet. That was pretty cool. And then, of course, seeing all the Facebook videos, the marketing videos for the MagTarp, and scrolling through all the comments of people saying that they thought that was a cool product, people tagging other people about it, people giving their own testimony about experience using it. Seeing the number of views on the YouTube videos, those were just unreal things for me, things I've never experienced.
I just did a little story on it, but I think it's just such a cool idea. I have one idea that I've talked to the same individual about, and I really would love to see it come to life. I don't want to say it out loud because I don't want to get stolen, but I've thought about I think it'd be just so cool to see something you made, whether it's I don't know, anything in any industry, whether it's a wheelchair if you invented and people's lives are changed by it, or I don't know, some type of electronic device where you can hear better. To think that your product, which has moved lots of units, is being used throughout the country right now is pretty cool, right?
It is pretty cool. Like I said, it's kind of an unreal thing to comprehend, because I don't know. I'm just a normal guy. I'm just trying to make a living. I don't do anything. I've never done anything like this. So, and then most of my days are just trying to provide for my family, running my landscaping business. So it's almost kind of like a life that I'm not living, but I'm involved in. It's kind of weird to explain. But there is a great amount of potential there where it could become something more. It's still such a young product. We've only been selling it for a year now. And there's a lot of, things to come with it, maybe developing it to be a better product, different ways we can design it.
Yeah. Additional products.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you don't know where it's going to take you, but the opportunity's out there, and it's exciting to know that it's not a dead end road, so to speak.
100%. So Jacob, kind of talk a little bit about, we're going to talk to you in the next episode. We're going to do back-to-backs, but about your landscaping business. But what has kind of been the motivating factor for you in your business? MagTarp's a business, your Cornerstone's a business. Talk about your family. Like you just kind of hit on that. How much is every decision you make about your family?
Every decision, every single one. You know, they're one of the main reasons why I do what I do. I try not to get caught up in my passions of being successful, because that's not really what it's about. It's the fundamentals for me. It's an opportunity that God has given me to provide for my family. That's as basic as I can get.
No, I love that.
It's a blessing. And that way I try to keep myself in that mindset, because I don't want to take the glory for what comes, even though sometimes as a human, you want the credit for things. And God's always been the motivation behind the businesses. That's why the landscaping company is called Cornerstone, because it's a reminder that God is the cornerstone of everything I do. He's the foundation of my life. So it keeps me level, it keeps me basic. I try not to get too overwhelmed or, like I said, take the glory for myself. It's really just about providing for my family. I don't have much time on this earth, but I want to try to do what I can to, work hard and use the gifts that God's given me for good. So,
Jacob, can you talk about the use cases for MagTarp? Like, what is great things for it to be used for? Obviously, I think you talked about leaf removal, but kind of talk through things you've heard or seen or used for yourself. Why should someone buy the MagTarp? Like, what does it save you? Time, energy, effort? Like, just go through the whole use case.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the fundamentals are it's the functionality of the tool, the efficiency that it provides for the job site, the durability. I mean, I know that the MagTarp is more expensive than just buying any old tarp, but the functionality and efficiency over time, I think, saves companies money. We kind of created it for the landscaper, the lawn care guy, but anybody can use it. Homeowners, the people that are DIY for their own lawn care. It's really basically just a debris loading device. Anything that you would use an ordinary tarp for. But as our investor says, it's a tool, not a tarp. So that's where the design and the magnets, the zippers, the functionality comes into play. It's more durable. It's stronger. It folds and secures. I don't know how many times I've used a regular tarp and tried to fold it and use it and have it flapping all over the place. The wind takes it away. But realistically, it's for debris, it's for leaves, shrub clippings. Those are the things that we've primarily used it for. It contains the debris as well. And then of course you could use it to, lay out and put, materials on like mulch or anything that you want to keep off of a certain surface. So that's mostly what I've seen it used for, and we personally used it for.
I was thinking about that with mulch. Like, if you had let's say you had 20 yards of mulch dumped in a driveway, and you had a empty pick it up and scoop it and dump it on the MagTarp, how many yards of mulch do you think you could drag? Like, how durable are the handles, like, weight wise? Is there like a weight limit that you feel like you can, like, cause I'm thinking like if it could drag like 2 or 3 yards of mulch and be able to like pull it right into a flower bed and dump it and then just spread it from there, like that's a huge, I never even thought about that. That would save a ton of time and money. Yeah.
I wish I had these numbers right here in front of me. I did ask the manufacturer at one point what the load capacity was. It might even be on the MagTarp's marketplace page, but I think it was at least 150 pounds worth of weight.
Oh, that's good.
Was the minimum. there's times where you kind of have to, certain situations where you might need to exceed your limit, and there's ways around that. I mean, being careful when you're dragging it, not just jerking on the handles, because of course your handles are connected to grommets. The grommets are on the corners of the device. So it's not an indestructible product. Another thing I wanted to mention is that, people have said that, oh, well, how does this hold up when you're dragging it over hard surfaces? And of course it's a material that will rub and maybe there might be some holes in it over time, but it's all about how you use it. So the idea was to create a more durable product at a higher price point. That kind of would give you a sense of, I want to care about this product more and actually take care of it and not just treat it like a regular tarp where, you might use it once and tear it and never not be able to use it again. And they're like, oh, I'll just go buy another one. It was only $30, You know
what I love when I look at it? I love the handles that come with it where you clip it on the grommets. And you have the handles, because that's like one of the most annoying things about a regular tarp is there's nowhere to actually pull it. Like you're just grabbing the ends of it and crumpling it in your hand. Like I love
you wrap it around your wrist.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
But yeah, so cool. The handles, the clips, you can, we clip it to the mower and drag that way. That way you don't have to, break your back and make your legs burn from dragging it. It's especially when it's fully loaded. I mean,
you can do that, but the warranty does not cover it if you do that. I'm reading it right here.
It does
Mr.
not.
Inventor.
It does not. And I have, I'll tell you this though. I was talking to an investor about this because he was curious. Last year, I made one unit last for over 9 months, using it all year.
Wow.
So people that might say, oh, it's just like another tarp. I mean, it can be, but it's built better. It's thicker. It's stronger. It allows
for much more functional.
Absolutely. And so, like I said, if you handle that product with care, if you be cautious of what you're dragging, like if you're dragging sharp limbs and then you go over a hard surface, it's going to rip holes in it. So you got to be more thoughtful about how you're taking care of your products. As a business owner, that's where I saw the cost effectiveness of the product is that, well, if I can make this one product last for longer, then I don't have to spend hundreds of dollars a year on the other thing. Dude, over time, I am saving money if you think about it. So
you're saving. That's something that people need to think about is the labor time you're saving by it being functional to fold, to zip, for stuff not to fall out for materials, and then also the repurchasing, not having to repurchase. I'm trying to think, like I have 3 or 4 tarps here in my barn, but I also had, I don't know, each of my crews had a tarp. So 10, I probably had 10 tarps at one time, and they would disappear. They don't fold well. I love like how the MagTarp can be
put into a bag,
like I just love that. So
yeah, that's another reason why we have the bag, because, when you're done using it, fold it up neatly, put it in the bag instead of crumpling it up and throw it in a corner. I mean, that bag essentially will also prolong the deterioration of the product because it's not just being weathered by being open and out,
It's a great point. Good point.
But I mean, as a business owner for lawn care and landscaping, I personally am all for purchasing quality materials, equipment, spending money on quality things that'll last longer instead of just, saving money on the front end and then having to constantly spend on the back end.
Right.
I think it's smart. Not everybody would agree with that, but I've seen it be successful from my experience.
So, all right, Jacob, this has been awesome. All right. So where can people find MagTarp? Where can they buy it right now?
Ballard-inc.com.
There we go. With code GreenUp10. You can use it anytime. I got a message the other day from somebody who was like, "Hey, does your code only work one time?" I'm like, "No, you can use it literally every single purchase, every single day." And Corey and the team over there would still be happy even if you used a code every single day, 365.
Hey man, I might have to use the code myself. I don't know if I'll be able to get another freebie going forward.
I think you'll be able to get another freebie. You're the inventor and owner. I think you're going to be okay.
I don't know, man. I try not to overstay my welcome, if you know what I mean. But,
I don't know what you mean because you're being silly. You're being silly about that.
I'm a silly guy, man. You know that. You know that.
Yeah, I do know that. All right, Jacob, we're going to wrap this episode up, and your next one's going to be more about your lawn and landscape company. So, guys, this is Jacob Rasmussen, co-founder, inventor of the MagTarp, really cool product in the lawn and landscape industry. If you guys have not checked it out, you can go to ballard-inc.com. Corey Ballard over at Ballard Products. They are the main place right now. You can get it. It is a huge time saver, money saver, and you don't have to repurchase. It is very, very helpful. I'm actually about to get one, Jacob. I'm going to order one here in the next couple of days because we had that big storm come through, and my guy who helps me with my property whenever it gets crazy is literally out here using a wheelbarrow around the property getting sticks, and it'd be much better if he had a MagTarp. So
it absolutely would be.
I know. I'm just thinking about right now, just realizing it. But guys, this has been Alex here with the Green Up Academy podcast, where we help you level up your green industry business. We'll see you next time. We'll hopefully see you at Equip Expo here in a few days. I think this episode comes out right before we head to Equip Expo. Make sure you come see me at the Bobcat booth, noon on Thursday. I'll be giving out some hats or shirts or something cool. And you can find me anytime. I'll be wearing a cool Green Up Academy jersey I ordered yesterday. So you can find that. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.